Hello viewers, Super GT here on Forza Motorsport 7. It's been quite a while, but we are back. And to kick things off, none other than the Nürburgring Nordschleife at night time. Our guy here is gearing up. He's going to be ready to be dancing in the moonlight, or smashing in the moonlight, or getting smashed off in the moonlight. One of the three. Anyway, let's go then. Off the line, driving the Carrera GT into the first corner. This is where we expect things to go wrong, and well, there we go. Barely 10 seconds into the race and we're greeted with this amazing scene. What an experience that was. Anyway, let's continue as the Ford comes back down to earth from orbit. Plenty more idiot things going on. Just about get through. So it's always a tough race at the Nordschleife. Trying to get your way through the pack is never easy because it's so narrow. A lot of the time you're kind of waiting for mistakes, and well, it looks like some are going to happen here. The Ferrari, the McLaren, kind of getting comfy with each other, and the Porsche goes through up into ninth, up behind a Dodge Viper now, coming up into the right left, down, drops down over a crest, giving the Viper a bit of a bump there, but progressing around up the straight into Flugplatz, and I've bumped him into the wall. I'll get a bump from behind as well, and well, I've sent him to the Shadow Realm. He is now in another dimension. He doesn't exist in this dimension anymore. He is gone. RIP in peace, mate. Anyway, well, now that he's gone, that's one less person to worry about. A couple of people off, or one person off. The Ferrari trying to get past the Mercedes, and I just slipped by here. So that's 3 passes done, up into 7th. Good progress. If you can make places up that quickly, you're doing well. Up into 6th by the end. Coming up towards the end of the lap, 2 people just ahead of us, and hoping for the best, which is them 2 to smash each other off. And well, that exact thing has happened. So then going up into 4th. I think that guy was actually waiting though, to be fair. So I think he perhaps knew that he did kill the other guy and kind of waved him back through. Or was he waiting for another attack? I couldn't quite see that there. Anyway, I'm going to move on to race number 2, Silverstone National Circuit. I'm going to go for the V12 Zagato, British car around the British circuit. So I like the Zagato in S-Class. It tends to have really good top end, and this circuit, Silverstone, of course it's not the full configuration, but it does have that fairly long back straight, so that speed should come into its own around that section. So holding it in 3rd, coming towards the back straight, so the 90-degree right-hander here, going past the most infamous pointless tyre wall of all time. Not quite sure still why they added that, but it is there, so we have to deal with it. So past the Noble up to 2nd place, along the hanger straight, into Stowe corner, and the brakes fairly late. Let the car rotate mid-turn, come back for a late apex, although I missed the apex by about 5 miles. And well, here's my defensive method for this race. I'm going to use a lag switch, so the guy behind can't tell where the hell I am, and he's going to make overtaking me highly unpredictable, most likely to result in him getting smashed off by lag. I don't often get that kind of connection issue, to be honest, so I'm not quite sure why it's happening. But anyway, through the first corner into turn 2, up now behind the Ferrari F50. The Ferrari always a strong car, and there may have been contact there, I can't tell. I mean, on my screen it didn't look like there was, but maybe there was. Because of the lag, you can quite tell. Anyway, he goes up the inside for the lunge of the century, and well, that's him dead. Rest in peace to him. So that's 2 people dead already in the video. We'll actually make it 3. The 4 GT at Nürburgring, first corner, I think he's dead as well. So that's 3 people who've been sent into another dimension to be vanquished for life. So then, tries to maintain first position from here to the end, obviously. I mean, that's the idea of racing, you're supposed to finish first. So if you are in first, you're going to try and keep it. A little bit deep though, into the final chicane. Going to cut that like a madman, although that is technically clean in the game for some reason. Through the final corner on the apex, and the Noble on my tail, definitely trying to get past a bit of contact, but perhaps could have gone for the move into turn 1, although it's not always the best overtaking opportunity unless you're kind of fully alongside before you get there. So then into turn 3, that's a good overtaking opportunity, but he doesn't quite take the invitation to go up the inside this time. Perhaps he saw what happened to the F50 going to this corner. Doesn't really want to make a silly mistake, although I did see a proximity arrow go flying across. I think he got hit, and well, that's going to open up the gap for me to quite convincingly win by a couple of seconds in the end. So first place. Now we're going to move to Dubai. We haven't actually done this configuration in a long time. I'm going to go full demo mode and go for the Gt2 Rs. So this is the car we used in the demo way back when, September 2017. So yeah, stock car, although it is pretty much the top of S-Class. Now it is a really weird handling car. The weight transfer is highly unusual, but I'm on pole position, getting through the chicane cleanly, getting away, and well, having a brief look behind here, and well, RIP any hopes of a decent race. Anyway, let's continue. Let's see if I can kind of push this car to its limits. So of course, once you've got a gap like that, just get your head down, you know, really nail your braking points, your apexes. Don't really worry about the other people. You've got the space. There's no need to start defending or anything, or focus on anything else other than just trying to set the best kind of lap time that you can with no interruptions. I mean, these corners here are very awkward. It's not my favourite circuit, this. I mean, it does feel like a road rather than a circuit. It can get quite awkward, especially with this section here. And of course the Porsche, I mean, this car is very, very weird to drive. It isn't really my favourite at all. We're going to make the most of it. Again, we are in first place. Going to try and keep that position to the end. So a couple of grazes with the wall, but it's not really going to lose you too much time by doing that. Obviously not ideal, but not really that slow. This is the situation at the end of the third lap, so the end of the race. And well, we're going to win by about 2,500 feet. It was quite easy in the end. So 2 easy races there, or somewhat easy races. First place twice in a row. We're going to move to Maple Valley, gone for the S7. And again, well, I haven't got the high latency issue at the moment, but maybe there was some sort of issue, as we've been collected a couple of times going through the first corner. So down into 15th place. Now this is a really good example here of the Super GT effect, or Moses. So those two kind of part, those two as well. And coming through here, just through the middle of the gap, and another couple of people. So up to 7th, 8 positions in one corner. Cheers, Moses. You're a good lad. Keep it up, mate. So through the sweeping left, just grazing the wall on the exit, coming up behind the BMW M1 Pro car, using the full track width on the brakes. You can go in really late on the brakes there, which kind of caught me out, but I went to the back of this guy. I wanted to let him go here, and obviously I didn't. I was a little bit too impatient and just spun him round. It looked really bad actually, so I slowed right down and let him go, and I felt so ashamed that I kind of just gave up on that race. So we're going to go to the Museo Circuit. They just raced around here in MotoGP, but we're here in cars, 4 wheels instead of 2. Although once we get punted around turn 1, we might end up on 2 wheels, or 0 wheels maybe. Let's see what happens as we go into the first turn. Quite a long main straight here, although not a hugely long run into the first corner in the McLaren F1 GT. So coming through turn 1, it's not going to end well. Grosjean comes back across, deploys smoke screen, and I end up temporarily upside down, which obviously isn't ideal in racing. And there's someone else upside down there as well. Plenty of people ghosted out, smoke screens everywhere, Grosjeans everywhere, and plenty of collisions. The collision system working overtime right now, as well, we just get punted around by a Porsche. So thank you very much for that. So obviously not an ideal start. Down into 22nd briefly, almost last. So then this race is going to pretty much be a recovery race, which in a way can be very fun. You know, sometimes I'm thankful for getting smashed off at turn 1 because, you know, coming through the pack, trying to overtake everyone can be pretty fun. You know, obviously I'd rather not get smashed off at turn 1, but that's the way it goes 99.857999% of the time. So I do find myself in this situation quite a lot. So anyway, let's try and do our best here to get through. I mean, already up into 14th, and it's not even been lap 1 yet. So we still have 2 laps to do after this one. It's good to see Mugello come up. Always a good circuit to go to, and it's one I've always loved in the Forza series. Definitely one of the better tracks in the Forza series. So always happy to see it appear on the voting list, other than a VIR in the rain, obviously, which comes up every time. But it's always good to see this track. Into the final corner, a nice big group ahead, which are doing their best to knock 50,000 shades of grey out of each other. So round the final corner, onto the very long straight here. So enter, it's quite a semi-fast, so sort of a medium speed final corner, so you're coming onto the straight fairly quickly. And it does last quite a long time, up to over 170 miles an hour. Looking up the inside of the Pro car, bit of contact on the way in, nothing too bad, but then we are up the inside eventually. We take over 13th, a reversing Lotus coming onto the track, and I think I've just nudged the Ferrari ahead, so I'm just going to back off there and let him go back. So he resumes 11th, I'm now into 12th. On the exit though, not taking the best exit. You see it's somewhat laggy still for some reason. I don't quite have the high latency notification, but around the outside, up into 11th. So that's a fairly good move. We still have plenty of cars up ahead. The guy immediately in front of us, the Frenchman in the Lamborghini. Lamborghini have never really been all that great, at least the modern Lamborghinis on this game have never been brilliant in S-Class. So he's given that Murcielago a good run. I'm going to go sweeping around the outside up into 9th. There was someone else off on the gravel a couple of corners ago. So through turn 9 up towards the turn 10 and 11 chicane. So plenty of direction changes here at Mugello. Lots of right lefts, left rights. So direction changing, something very crucial around here. So then into turn number 12, and we're just queued up behind a Noble and the Ferrari F50. We'll do our best here to try to get up into, well, we've got 7th in sight, the Ferrari, and then 6th and 5th are on the same straight as us right now. I think 4th place upwards are long gone, but we still have a chance of 6th place here, which of course would confirm a Super TT video. But we could go one better with 5th, who's just going past the pit lane entrance right now. So not too far ahead, you never know what might happen. So then going to tuck into the Ferrari slipstream, going to follow him across, actually no we're not, as the Noble switches place. We're going to tuck into his slipstream instead, and oh my god, what the hell was going on there? Someone was just coming across the track for, well, I don't even know what the hell he was doing. I mean, explain that. I don't even know what the hell was going through that guy's head, other than almost my car. But anyway, we survive that scare. That guy just drives off the track up into 7th. So 5th place is definitely on now. The full GT in 5th. We're going to follow the Noble through for now. The Ferrari keeping a close eye on proceedings just behind. Into the turn 4 and turn 5 chicane, which goes up into probably my 2 favourite corners on the track, turn 6 and 7, Casanova and Savelli. These 2 corners are beautiful when you get them right. I absolutely love these. So queuing up now behind the Ford, which tends to be a good handling car, but he might suffer elsewhere. Up the inside into turn 8, past the Noble. That's a good move. Can we now go past the 4GT? He goes very wide. I'm going to get a run on the exit, give him just about a car width, almost contact though, as he recovers from the curb. Up into 5th place on the inside into turn 10. So just a couple of corners now, about a third of a lap remaining to try and preserve the 5th place. It's been a good race so far, obviously barring the start, which was an absolute disaster where we got killed about 4 times, but now standing up in 5th place, which is a fairly decent recovery. So then into the chicane, well, a bit of corner cut in there, and actually that hasn't helped me because it's unsettled the car massively. So running quite a low, what do you call it, sort of a low, not downforce, but the car is very low, the springs are very low. which doesn't really help with the curb sometimes, as it can kind of bottom out. But through the final corner, we've done enough to preserve 5th place, which was actually a really good recovery in the end. So the first 20% of the race was a disaster, but it was a good recovery and good fun actually in the end, trying to get past as many cars as we could. So enjoying the result, enjoying the race, and well, S-Class is always a mixed bag, but then again so is Forza. So some races are very good, some are just you getting abused 1,000 million times. But there we go guys, I do hope you enjoyed the video as always. Do hit the like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more. I shall see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.
Listen.